breaking news. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets will be parting ways, and Rodgers would be a perfect fit for the Tennessee Titans. I'll explain why on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. On today's episode, again, we got breaking news. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are parting ways. I'll explain the pros and the cons to Aaron Rodgers, but why I think he's a great fit. Also, we'll talk about two backup options behind Aaron Rodgers that I'm sure all of you will hate at least one of. Finally, the noise got even louder about a Tennessee Titans trade down over the weekend. I'll go over the latest reports. Before we dive into all of it, thank you for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day, Monday through Friday. Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day here on the Locked On Titans podcast. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. Couldn't do it without you guys. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one because we got a lot of all-season stuff to talk about. There's breaking news all the time. This week, we're going to look at veteran quarterback options, trade options for quarterback. Also, going to start breaking down Shedeur Sanders' game versus Cam Ward's game. I prefer Cam Ward at this time, but think Sanders is a better fit. So much to discuss this offseason. Make sure that you stay with me here on the number one Tennessee Titans podcast in the world. But with that being said, again, literally before I recorded, a couple hours before I got into the booth for you guys, we got the news from Jay Glazer of Fox Sports that Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets will be parting ways. The Jets have informed Aaron Rodgers in a meeting last week that they will be moving on from him. Again, that comes from Jay Glazer of Fox Sports. And look, last week when I talked about veteran quarterback options in my free agency episode, I said I didn't think that Aaron Rodgers would become available. The Jets have to eat so much dead cap to move on from Aaron Rodgers. But like we saw the Denver Broncos do with Russell Wilson, like we saw the Las Vegas Raiders do with Derek Carr, sometimes these teams choose to just eat the big dead cap now, take their medicine, get it out of the way, and move on from the player. And it looks like that's exactly what the Jets are going to do. Now, of course, the Jets are probably going to do the thing where they go, hey, we're probably going to cut him, but if anybody wants to trade for him, now to trade for Aaron Rodgers, it's like $37 million in salary. Nobody's trading draft picks for a 40-year-old quarterback worth $40 million. That's not happening. The Jets are going to have to cut him and part ways with him. That's what's going to be the case. And again, I will continue to say, as I said I said Derek Carr last week. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers would become available. Looks like I was wrong about that. And if Aaron Rodgers is available, to me, he is at the top of the list of veteran quarterbacks. He's at least tied with Derek Carr for me. And I think that Rodgers makes a ton of sense for the Titans. And here's why. First, let me know down below, yes or no to Aaron Rodgers. Number one on the list. It's a veteran bridge quarterback, which the Tennessee Titans need desperately. I will continue to say, even if the Tennessee Titans draft a rookie quarterback, they are going to bring in a veteran bridge quarterback, which will be slated to be the starter. Mike Borgonzi came from Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. Chad Brinker came from Green Bay. They have a long history of sitting rookie quarterbacks, even if they're drafted in the first round. So even if the Titans get a rookie quarterback, I think that Brian Callahan specifically, but everyone in the organization would still want a veteran quarterback. And free agency happens in March. The draft happens in April. The Titans are going to add a veteran quarterback to this roster a month before the draft even happens. So which veteran quarterback in that case is the best fit? And again, Aaron Rodgers to me. Number one, who's a better player between Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers? I think you could make the argument for either one of them at this stage. Aaron Rodgers, obviously not at his best point in his career, but Aaron Rodgers last season, 28 touchdowns and over 3,000 yards and only 11 interceptions. Like Aaron Rodgers' washed season with the Jets would be one of the best quarterback seasons in Tennessee Titans history. So let's not pretend here Like Aaron Rodgers is so bad at football right now that he wouldn't be an upgrade over Mason Rudolph and Will Levis. Not only that, but the financial aspect. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to command a huge salary. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be getting a multi-year contract from the Tennessee Titans. It'll be a one-year cheap contract where the Titans don't have to take a ton of financial risk into the future. So whether it be on the field improvement from last year's quarterback play, whether it be the financial aspect of getting a cheap bridge veteran quarterback, that's there too. So it just makes a ton of sense. Also, look from Aaron Rodgers' perspective. I remind you guys, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I bet my everydayers remember. Aaron Rodgers went on Pat McAfee and talked glowingly about Tennessee and Nashville. He has a home in the Nashville area. No state income taxes, good people, good music. Aaron Rodgers said those things himself on television unprompted. Aaron Rodgers would love to spend his final year in the NFL in Tennessee to try to help the Tennessee Titans start to turn this thing around. And with his backup options, there's a chance that he can mentor a young player, which could improve his public image. So be more comfortable in a state where you have a home, in a state where you're more comfortable than New York City and the big city, more comfortable in Tennessee, no state income taxes. So even though you're going to get a cheap financial deal, you're going to get the most money out of that contract that you could get with almost any other team in the NFL. The Titans need a backup or need a veteran that needs to win now, but shouldn't be committing too much. Like, do you want Sam Darnold, 3 years, $40 million a season? Or do you want Aaron Rodgers for 1 year, $20 million? Like, to me, it's not even close. It's not even close. So whether it be an improvement on the football field, which Rodgers would be over Levis and Mason Rudolph, whether it be somebody who can mentor a younger player to help his public image as he goes towards retirement, whether it be a comfortable fit in terms of the location and somewhere that Aaron Rodgers would want to be, or whether it be the Tennessee Titans who desperately need that veteran quarterback to help turn this thing around, it is a perfect fit for the Tennessee Titans. Now, what are the downsides here? Well, the downsides are Aaron Rodgers is not a long-term answer. That's obvious. He's in his 40s. He's not a long-term answer. Also, Aaron Rodgers' personality is seen as somewhat of a downside. But let me explain this. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be coming to the Tennessee Titans thinking, I'm winning a Super Bowl still. I'm an MVP caliber player still. We're going to turn this around and go win a championship. The goal is to be as good as possible. And for Rodgers, it would be to play one more year in the NFL. If you bring in Kirk Cousins, you bring in Derek Carr, you draft a rookie quarterback number one, you are accepting, which the Titans should accept anyway, that you're not winning a championship this year. So with that, if the championship isn't something that realistically is in the frame of opportunity, then Aaron Rodgers is not going to be calling all the shots and running the locker room and being this political maverick in the locker room that makes it. The Titans went 3-14 last year with a good locker room, according to a lot of you guys. So what if the locker room is worse with Aaron Rodgers, which I don't think it would be. But I think the situation and the financial commitment to Aaron Rodgers that the Titans would be making would make it a situation where Aaron Rodgers isn't trying to bully the Titans into doing things that he wants and isn't being this, controlling guy, calling shots. I don't think that would be, it would be, remember when Thanos at the end of Infinity War sits down to look over the world and the universe after the snap that's what Aaron Rodgers would be in. That's the mode Rodgers would be in this season. And I still think that would be a major upgrade over Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. So to me, Rodgers makes perfect sense. Now, whether the Titans go get him, I don't know, but the backup options for Aaron Rodgers are just as intriguing. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. As a small business owner, your work doesn't end when the clock hits 5. Your business is always on your mind, which means when it's time to hire, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. That's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free and share it with your network to get qualified candidates all in one place. Post your job. LinkedIn's new feature can help you write job descriptions and then quickly get in front of the people that you want to hire with deep candidate insights. And here's a pro tip. Add the hashtag hiring frame to your profile picture to double your reach to qualified candidates. No wonder 72% of small businesses say LinkedIn has helped them find high quality hires. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. Titans fans, let's continue today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We talked about the Aaron Rodgers news and why I think Aaron Rodgers would be a perfect fit for the Tennessee Titans as a bridge quarterback. Now, part of that discussion was I think that Aaron Rodgers could do a lot to enhance and repair his perception in the media by actually mentoring a young quarterback. And I think he would have the opportunity to do that with the Tennessee Titans, no matter what route they choose to take. Now, before I get into that, I do want to thank you again for making Locked On Titans your first listen. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. But there are some of you out there who, when I say, hey, I think Aaron Rodgers is a perfect fit for the Tennessee Titans for all the reasons that I discussed. You think he's washed? Okay, well, his version of washed is still better than most quarterback seasons the Tennessee Titans have ever had. You want long-term upside, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't provide that? Well, I got a little something for you. You worried about Aaron Rodgers' personality? The Titans were 3-14 last year, and he's clearly not winning a championship if he comes to Tennessee. I'm not worried about Aaron Rodgers' personality. Not worried about that. Also will say that Aaron Rodgers, quick, timing, passing, time to throw, getting the ball out of his hands, that's exactly what Brian Callahan wants to do. And we need to evaluate Brian Callahan this year, and Aaron Rodgers would be a perfect fit for what he wants to do in his system. So moving away from all of that, though, one of the big things that I want to hit on is long-term upside. Aaron Rodgers provides you none of that. You want to talk about the field, you want to talk about the locker room, you want to talk about the money. I can make a logical argument for Aaron Rodgers. But if you want to say, hey, there's no long-term upside in Aaron Rodgers, okay, you're right. There isn't. But let me throw this on you. What if the Tennessee Titans signed Aaron Rodgers and still drafted a quarterback number one? Like, to me, Cam Ward is the quarterback you would take number one if you're taking a quarterback. He has way more upside than Shedeur Sanders. He's not as good of a fit in Brian Callahan's offense, but Brian Callahan may not be the coach here by this time next year. So why would I pass on a more talented player for a quote-unquote better fit when I don't know if the coach that quarterback fits is even going to be around for half the season? You know, like, that doesn't make sense to me. Take the more talented player. And Cam Ward behind Aaron Rodgers would be awesome. It would be awesome. Number one, Aaron Rodgers gives you pop. Cut the crap. It's part of being a Titans fan that sucks is nobody cares about the Titans. Nobody talks about the Titans. They're never brought up on national shows. And you could say, oh, well, the media stuff doesn't matter. If the only thing that you care about with football and sports entertainment is whether the team wins or loses, then you are missing out on some of the best parts of being a sports fan. Sports is entertainment. Yes, I want the Titans to win every single game that they play. But at the end of the day, I want the Titans to be entertaining. I am on this spinning rock in space for a short time. Please be entertaining. Bring me joy. Make it fun. Even if you lose, even in seasons that you don't go to the Super Bowl or the playoffs, at least have some pop. Be entertaining. And Aaron Rodgers would make the Tennessee Titans far more entertaining while also giving them the opportunity to get more wins too. And if you have Cam Ward behind Aaron Rodgers, let me tell you why this is such a great fit. Because Aaron Rodgers had all the physical gifts you could ever want. He has maybe the best arm in NFL history. I would say him or Patrick Mahomes, the best arm in NFL history. He had great mobility, even for a guy who isn't a scrambler, isn't a running quarterback per se. Great mobility. Aaron Rodgers' ability to get out of the pocket and make plays happen and create off schedule. Think about all the Hail Marys and all of that. Aaron Rodgers, without being a running quarterback, still incredibly mobile. To have his Aaron Rodgers was Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes. the bazooka arm, the creativity off schedule, the mobility in the pocket. Aaron Rodgers is a lesser version to me of Patrick Mahomes. He didn't win as much. He didn't quite as mobile. But Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are the two most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen. Cam Ward is the most talented quarterback in the draft. You can argue that Shedeur Sanders is going to be a better quarterback because of the intangibles, because of the accuracy, the mental side of things. You can do that. But Cam Ward is clearly a better athlete in terms of mobility and agility and speed, and he has a way stronger and bigger arm than Shedeur Sanders. Okay? With that being said, sounds a lot like Aaron Rodgers. But now, at this stage of his career, Aaron Rodgers is better at quick precision passing, reading the defense, knowing what coverage is coming, understanding how to beat the defense with his mind and with his timing and with his accuracy, not the physical gifts. Aaron Rodgers can't win with the physical gifts anymore. So he's a quarterback who had the physical gifts, who learned how to win without having as much of the physical gifts. And if Cam Ward can learn that too, Cam Ward will be an incredible quarterback. If Cam Ward can learn how to play on time within the structure of an offense, go through progressions, read the defense, win with his mind, win with his intelligence, not just rely on the natural talent, not just try to make hero ball plays happen all the time. The perfect balance for a quarterback is to be able to win with the timing and the precision and the accuracy, but also have in your back pocket the ability to create and make plays off schedule. That's why Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback that we've ever seen. He'll destroy you from the pocket. Patrick Mahomes doesn't even have to run to beat you. He could just stand in the pocket and play like Tom Brady if he wants. But when things go wrong in the back-breaking moments, which Tennessee Titans fans know very well, in the back-breaking moments when you least expect it, Patrick Mahomes busts out that mobility and reminds you that he can win with his legs too. That is the most dangerous quarterback, who can win through the pocket, and when the chips are down, they can make that extra play. So if Aaron Rodgers could have a positive impact on Cam Ward as the number one quarterback, you get your veteran bridge quarterback, which the Tennessee Titans are absolutely going to get. Whether you want a quarterback in the draft or not, the Titans will sign a veteran quarterback before the draft. That is 100% happening, whether they want a quarterback or not. Aaron Rodgers mentoring Cam Ward, helping improve Cam Ward in the spots that Aaron Rodgers had to improve at, while also having a veteran bridge quarterback to evaluate Brian Callahan this year, who makes the Titans interesting and still, even though he's washed, is better than most quarterback play the Titans fans have ever seen. That, to me, is a pretty good outcome. Now, I'll also say this. Let's look at the other path. Not quite as enticing to most of you, I would imagine. But Will Levis would be a really good backup to Aaron Rodgers, too. Levis is another guy, really strong arm. Definitely doesn't read the pocket as well as Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't have the instincts. Doesn't have the natural playmaking knack. But if anybody can help a brash, young, over-aggressive Will Levis mature and get better at those parts of his game, it's Aaron Rodgers. Out of those two options, I would prefer Rodgers and Cam Ward to Rodgers and Will Levis, but it does make sense. Now, I will tell you this too. Through the grapevine, I have heard that the Tennessee Titans probably aren't very interested in Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that Brian Callahan is willing to bet his job on Aaron Rodgers. But I would tell you this. What is a better option? You're going to bet your job on starting a rookie quarterback, number one, from day one? That's what you're going to bet your job on? Because I think it's far more likely that Brian Callahan gets fired because the rookie quarterback plays bad and the Titans look stupid for taking a quarterback number one, and they tell themselves that Brian Callahan is the problem. We need to get another quarterback. We need to get another coach in here to fix our rookie quarterback. That's way more likely than Brian Callahan having his job saved by one of the quarterbacks. So rookie quarterback is super risky if you're worried about keeping your job. And then on the other side, is Derek Carr going to be available? That would be a great fit. I think Brian Callahan would rather do Derek Carr, but is he going to be available? What are the Saints going to do at quarterback? I talked to some people in New Orleans they're not quite as confident that Derek Carr gets released as I was. Sam Darnold, you're going to give Sam Darnold 3 years, $120 million. You're going to commit to Sam Darnold for 3 years for that long, like he is a starting level quarterback. If they sign Sam Darnold to 3 years, $40 million a season, that isn't a bridge veteran quarterback. We think Sam Darnold is our long-term starter. I'm not doing that. I think Kirk Cousins is the worst player out of all the players that we've talked about. 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers is better than Kirk Cousins is right now. Well, you want to go Jameis Winston? You want to go Gardner Minshew? You want to roll with Levis again? They're backup quarterbacks. You think you're going to trade from, you think Matthew Stafford wants to come to Tennessee? So I'm sorry, but I don't see a better option for Brian Callahan, whether he wants Aaron Rodgers or not. So if he's worried about keeping his job, I think he should probably consider Aaron Rodgers more than I'm hearing that he will. But with that being said, talking about drafting a quarterback, number one, if that's what you want, wasn't a great weekend for you. Do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. When the game tips off, the NBA action is getting started. And there's no better place to get in on that action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game. So even if you miss opening tip-off and you want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your line bets for a same game parlay. I love a same game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I'm backing my team for a late game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three, I never feel like I missed my chance on FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Titans fans, let's continue today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We looked at the Aaron Rodgers report from over the weekend and why I think Rodgers is a perfect fit for the Titans. We talked about backup options and whether you want a rookie quarterback number one, you want to roll with Will Levis again. Those are two good options to back up Aaron Rodgers. But now I want to talk about all the reports we got from over the weekend about the Tennessee Titans looking to trade down. Now, before I get into it, thanks again for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. But with that being said, we got multiple reports from over the weekend that the Tennessee Titans want to trade down. Okay, so first on Saturday, we heard from Dan Graziano from ESPN saying that the Tennessee Titans wanted to trade down. He said, quote, "There's still a long way to go until April's draft and a lot of evaluations to make before then. But I've talked to multiple people who think the Tennessee Titans could trade out of the top pick and look for their QB solution elsewhere. That could mean either another shot for Will Levis or adding young free agents such as Sam Darnold or Justin Fields. The thinking is that the Titans roster needs are so extensive that unless they're absolutely sold on one of the quarterbacks as a franchise game changer, they're probably better off seeing what teams would be willing to offer for the pick. If they move back to 2 with the Browns or 3 with the Giants, even 6 with the Raiders, 7 with the Jets, they could still land a franchise cornerstone player in the first round and be in position to address quarterback in next year's draft if necessary." So that's the first thing we got on Saturday from Dan Graziano. Now, I will say this. The quote saying, "I've talked to multiple people who think," that's not sourced information. That is educated guesses from people around the league, probably talking to other scouts, other general managers, other agents of some of the guys in the draft as well. That's where Graziano is getting this information. He's talking to people who have heard whispers around the league and, GMs that have had conversations with the Titans about a trade. That's where that stuff comes from. Now, I wouldn't say that any of that is groundbreaking information. I think we knew that the Tennessee Titans were interested in trading down. And then on Sunday, Ian Rappaport went on television before the Super Bowl and again confirmed that the Tennessee Titans are open to trading down. He said on Twitter, the Titans are open to all options at number 1, including potentially trading the pick. What they decide will have a major impact on everything and everyone going forward. Again, the information that the Tennessee Titans are interested in trading down is not very new. The Titans told us that themselves, that if there wasn't a generational prospect, they would be very interested in trading down. So no surprise there. What I do want to add in is my guy Easton Freeze from A to Z Sports also tweeted out that his belief from talking to people is that the Tennessee Titans' preference right now is to trade down. But of course, the Titans still have to do meetings with the quarterbacks. The Titans still have to go to the combine and pro day and all of that. So it's absolutely possible that the Tennessee Titans could meet with one of the quarterbacks and get to know them as a person, and through that fall in love with one of the quarterbacks and then want to take them overall. But again, we're hearing from a local source. We're hearing from all the national sources that the Tennessee Titans are looking to trade down. And I think that here's what I take is we knew that already. That is not new information that the Tennessee Titans are open to trading down and that would even want to trade down. They told us that 12 picks in the next 12 top 100 picks in the next 3 years. But they told us they want to collect a bunch of draft capital. So of course they're interested in trading down. What I find interesting about all of this is the timing. That is what makes all of these reports interesting, is the timing. What the Tennessee Titans are trying to do is drum up as much public interest as possible. To me, this is very similar as you in your local neighborhood, people put up signs that say garage sale with their address on them. It's simple advertising. ESPN reporter, NFL Network reporter, on the pregame show on the Super Bowl, local reports. The Tennessee Titans want to trade down. All right. And what's going to make what is that going to cause? It's going to cause teams to say, okay, I need to pick up the phone and call. The Jets releasing Aaron Rodgers, most likely. The Saints, do they break up with Derek Carr? It's definitely possible. The Jets, the Browns. I mean, the Giants. There are so many teams that could make a play for a quarterback that what you're going to do is you're going to be like, okay, we're open for business. Oh, all of these reports are getting out because it's well known that the Tennessee Titans are looking to trade down. If it's well known, then that means a lot of people have called and have been in on the discussions. If a lot of people have called, then that means that there is demand for the pick. If there is high demand for the pick and there is low supply for the pick, that means prices increase. High demand, low supply, price increase. That's simple econ 101. So to me, yes, a lot of people were replying to my tweets about this stuff. We knew the Titans were interested in trading down. This isn't new. These aren't real reports. This is fake news. We know that. Yeah, you're right. But there's a reason that the reports are coming out now and that it's being rehashed now and then it's being brought back up now. It's because once the Super Bowl ends, the offseason is really, really on. And the Tennessee Titans want a phone with 10 lights on it on Monday morning. So, yes, the information wasn't new, but it being regurgitated and rehashed right now, to me, is an effort to drum up more interest, to get real offers start to coming in, to build up the demand, to ultimately get the best draft haul that they possibly can when it's time to actually make a trade. Make no mistake about it, they could still fall in love with one of these quarterbacks. But I think they're going to trade down. So that's where I'm at right now. That could change between now and the draft. But if you want a quarterback number 1 overall, I do not think that it was a good weekend for you with all the veteran quarterback news and then all the reports about the Titans looking to trade down. There's a reason that reports happen. And it's usually not the information necessarily, but the timing. Think about wide receiver trade requests and stuff. We knew that wide receiver was looking for a new contract and maybe wanted to trade. Why did it come out now? Timing. Timing is key. But we also got a report from someone close to I think it was Mike Graziano. Mike Garofalo from NFL. I think I saw the report that the Giants are interested in moving up to number 1 for their quarterback of the future. So all this stuff happening at the same time, it's going to make for a crazy offseason. Make sure that you never miss an episode of Locked On Titans. Get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. That is going to do it for me today, though, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.